Hi there. I want to talk to you today about using preset quick registrations. I'm on a Roland AT-900 Platinum. This works on any kind of instrument that has registrations. The registration means a preset bunch of sounds all coordinated for your whole instrument, from the upper keyboard, the lower keyboard, and the pedal. In this case, I want to play the song Fascination, which is a waltz. And I'm in the quick registration category called Movie and Show, and I selected a preset called the Waltzes, which is a theater organ sound, which the right hand sounds like this, and the left hand, and the pedal. Now, it's very accurate for theater organ that that's how it would have sounded. But let's say you don't have a lot of skill, and your playing is a little choppy. Get the idea? And so you're thinking, well, if I don't play well, where I can hold all those notes, how can I achieve that sound? So one of the things that you have to your avail in the instrument is something called sustain. And sustain, if you think of playing like a bell, if you hit a bell and you release a mallet off a bell, the sound will sort of quietly decay. It'll get softer. So on this screen, I'm going to touch on the right side where it says sound and keyboard. And when I do that, it shows me, you can maybe see on the big screen, it shows me all my different categories of sound. Well, if I touch category upper, lower, I'm going to start on the upper. Let's go to upper first. There are 6 pages of parameters you can do to modify the sound on the upper keyboard. And there are a lot of sounds on. It actually reuses the same sound 2 times over, but it changes the pitches of those sounds and moves them higher and lower. If I go to page 3 of 6, there is a sustain on or off, and then a sustain length. It's set on long now, so I'm going to just touch where it says off. Now it says on, and this is working for 3 of the 4 categories of sound, or organ, symphonic, and orchestral. Now the right hand all of a sudden lingers. So if I'm kind of choppy, you can't tell. See? Now I can change that to medium if that's too long for you. Okay? Or you can leave it on long, or whatever it suits you. Now on the very bottom of the screen, it says lower and pedal. So I can go into those sections as well, and on pedal it's page 2. On lower, it's on page 3. So now, my left hand, my pedal, see they're much lengthier. Maybe I want the pedal even longer. Let's make that long. Now it's much longer. Obviously a theater organ would never really do that, but maybe you're just starting out playing and this is something that would help you. Obviously if you're using the easy one finger where you play with one finger and it plays the pedal, it won't matter, because that has memory it's going to hold. But in this case where you don't have that, this will help you. So now if I play the same thing, I'm trying to be a little choppy, but you just can't. Okay, now for me that's way too much sustain. But you can see by going in, let's change that to medium. Better. sudden sounded smoother, even though I really may not be. Okay. Now that was with an organ sound. So let's say I'm not using an organ. Let's say I'm using a string sound. Okay. Well, some of the string presets. Let's go over here to where it says Basic on Quick Registrations, and let's pick mood strings. Now, mood strings are supposed to be reminiscent of like the Mantovani Orchestra, and there is a built into that sound sustain. Now the left hand also put a little percussion in there to help break up that. And the pedal, ooh, long. So this would be very nice for this. Okay, if I went back to the main string preset that's on the same category of Basic, not as smooth. See, now I'm purposely being choppy. You hear it. So I'd have to play with more skill. Wanted to modify that one, I would do the same thing. I'd go into sustain and I would add sustain to all those parts. The easier way is to pick the mood string preset, which already does it. Hear that? Really very nice. Now, certain categories of sound, you know, strings especially, let's go to, I happen to like the category called movie and show. It's just really, some really good stuff there. It's very hard to pick songs to play that are not copyright protected, as you're allowed to do, but, you know, sometimes you just can't avoid it, but okay. Here's a left-hand sound. Piano with string. Slight amount of sustain. My pedal is bowed, very pretty. With an oboe in my right hand. Let's go to the next preset. It says romantic mood. This is going to add the French horns to the bottom, and I'll have strings on top. A little bit of sustain. I'm picking the preset that says charming. Oh, a lot of sustain. Back to a sound. Helps if you know where you are. Let's see where I was. Alright, so even if I'm in a preset, if I go back to charming, I don't want all that sustain, I do the reverse. I touch sound and keyboard. I can go into upper. It's on long. I can make that medium. Lower keyboard is on short. I can go into pedal. Pedals are on middle. I can modify. Maybe I want the middle to be the setting for the lower. Maybe I want the upper to be middle. To necessarily accept the way that these presets come out. It's a starting point. hear the sound live in the room because it is really gorgeous. It's a beautiful sounding instrument. Helps to stay on the screen you want to be on if you want to go back to use other presets that you've already used. So I think sustain is a tool. When I started playing years ago, when I was 13 years old, I couldn't for the life of me figure out why anybody would not want sustain. I thought, like, wow, I want it as long as it can be, and because I didn't play very well. I was very choppy and I was a beginner player. I've been playing for a lot more years than that now, so I understand why I wouldn't want sustain on certain sounds, and I don't use it all the time, although when I do have it, I take advantage of it. The skill has made me able to play the instrument on a sound that doesn't have sustain, to sustain it myself with my fingers, but that requires more time than some people have to give right now, and they want to play with a sound and they just love the sound, but they wish, gee, I wish it would linger longer. So sustain is there. It's available for you to use anytime you want. Now in this store, Meister Music Centers, we have other brands. I have Rogers, I have Lowry. All of our instruments have the availability to change some of the voicing. Lowry and Roland Ateliers are very similar. They may not be laid out the same way, but the concept of what's available inside of them is similar. So you can go to a Lowry instrument. We have the brand new Liberty in our store. You can do the same thing, press sustain, increase, lower it. There's from 0 to 100, so you can pick a specific amount. You don't always hear, just like driving, 45, 46 feels the same. Well, here it's just kind of short, medium, long, so figure you're at 25, 50%, 75%. Well, the Lowrys will be kind of the same way. If you put those percentages in, you'll see that, it'll build slightly. Usually on a Lowry, you want to be at about 50. 50 is about a short sustain. You go to about 60, that'll be about medium, and 70 is kind of long. You may not want it too much longer than that. Certain sounds will linger way too. You can go longer, but you may not want it. You may not like to play with it. Even here, long may be too long for certain sounds. Okay, I think the upper keyboard sometimes defaults to long, as it's long and medium on the lower. I think it's generally how the default is set up on that. So that's the little lesson for you on sustain. I hope that you find that helpful. Okay, thanks.